Namaste and welcome to the second episode of GraminKonnect podcast. Today's guest is Sourabh Sengupta. He's the founder of WEEE Foundation. He's an unshakable optimist, an artist, peace lover, and a sustainability advocate. In the last decade, Sourabh has created value in various segments of the development sector with a primary focus on technology, startup ecosystem, digital literacy, climate change, environment, water conservation, social causes, and livelihood related issues. Within this time span, he has been associated with different organizations in diverse roles from mentor to facilitator. Currently, he is the founder of WEEE Foundation, which aims to bring change through action on ground in the environment, education, empowerment, and animal welfare. Started his career in telecommunication way back in 2006 till 2015. Post that, he has been balancing his career in corporate and social sector with sole intention of building a better India through community participation. Stay with us and hear what Sourabh has to say. Thank you. Namaste and welcome. Sourabh, thank you so much for joining me today. I am just so glad to kind of doing this. And finally, we are doing this. I mean, it's been, we have been talking about this for a long time, but then today we are being able to do this. Thank you so much for your time. So, yeah, we are being in touch for so long and we keep on discussing on so many topics every day, climate change, sustainability, rural tourism, so many things we have to. I think हर दिन एक बार तो या तो मैसेज में या तो फोन में हम बात करते रहते हैं. लेकिन द थिंग इज कि जब हमने ये रियलाइज किया कि हमें मिले हुए 7-8 साल हो गए हैं. So we have been talking about the same topics for so long. And I don't know, kind of changes are happening. Maybe impacts are happening world around. Things are changing. I'm hoping that things are going in positive manner. It should. So on that note, how's life, Sourabh? How are you? How is you work wise? How is you as whole? How's life overall?
First of all, thank you so much, Sreowshi, for inviting me to this conversation. Yes, it's been really long when we realize that when we look back, it's been so full of information that I was not able to even fathom that 8 years have passed that we have known each other. But yes, the time has come, and I feel that now with renewed energy and renewed vow that we should work together, build something good for not only us, but as a community. So yeah, I mean, all signs are good. I am feeling, positive about the association, and I think the time has come when we really need to put forward our best foot forward. And yes, life is good. I have been, I'm full of gratitude for the things that are happening. The only thing is the place I stay, Delhi and NCR, is being clouded with fog, smog, pollution. So health-wise, things are not that great, and it's been so for last couple of years. After Diwali, every year we face thing. So it's a alarm, but I don't know how long government and other agencies can act upon it. But yeah, the time is up. I think we are into the crisis. So yeah, life is good, but we are struggling.
Yeah. I can understand. So, Sourabh, I really want my audiences or whosoever is watching this video or will be watching the video in future, I just want, because you are an inspiration to me, you always have been, and the kind of work that you have been doing, especially with your earlier project with Dead River, now with WEEE Foundation, it has always been so inspiring. And I would really like you to share your journey so far so that we are being able to share the same with the audiences and with our far more larger people. So if you can please take us through your journey from Dead River, before that, and of course to WEEE Foundation.
So before even I start about talking about Dead River or my journey, I should thank all my people who supported me throughout, and people known to me, people unknown to me. And this is the time I should really acknowledge their contribution in whatever way they have added to me, because it is not Sourabh alone. There are so many souls who have been supporting behind the back and who have never come across and never really got acknowledged through me. So I find it is important for me to acknowledge them. Few friends, few unknowns. But yes, the journey has been really, really great, even for me, because when I look back, I see a lot of milestones that have been, achieved. and that was not possible had I not have friends and associates who really stood by me in the most darkest of my time. So I think that with talking about that, let me get back to where I started. So my journey started from banks of Ganga in a remote part of Bihar. That's where I grew up, and from there the journey, landed me to Yamuna, that is Delhi, and through Yamuna I learned a lot of life lessons, and that's where the entire narrative of 2015 to now has shaped up. I will come to that. So I'm not a environmentalist. I'm a common man who wish to build a community of like-minded souls who can talk good, who can act good, and who can create more goodness around them. So that is the entire journey all about. That's not what I realized right now. But when I started in 2015, I wanted to know who Saurabh is. That's the whole journey it started. And I was a corporate person. I started with Tata Communication, and from there to an organization called Techbook International. I was senior project manager when I left, and all those years gave me a formative understanding of how to manage projects, how to manage life, how to manage different challenges that comes, and got exposed to international people. Thankfully, I have a lot of friends who are not in India; they are outside, and learned a lot about life through them as well. Community, how can grow? Entire Earth can be a family. So I learned it from there. I still have any, one of our close associates, Scott Smith, has been like a elder brother figure to me. So all these things has happened. 2015, I thought of checking on who Saurabh is. That's what led to halfway India travel, and I realized that community is something I wish to work for, and water became something that was common in all the areas that I passed through. I started from Delhi. I landed up in Hyderabad, then to Bangalore, to Chennai, to Bombay, to so there are many places that I visited, and in Gujarat, everywhere water had different kind of issues. Somewhere it was locked in a water bank because accessibility was a problem of water, and the availability of water was shortage. Yamuna, you know how the situation is. People living by the Yamuna. I documented. I first gave the photo exhibition in the organization I started with. So all these interaction gave me a direction and sense of who I really want to be. And fortunately, I started as a volunteer and then graduated into a head of operations for the NGO that I was working for. Because I had no idea about social sector. That's how my upbringing happened and was groomed by India's top environmentalist. So I'm fortunate that right people came in life at the right time, guided me. And 2015, when I left corporate, I it was difficult decision, but I took because I wanted to give myself a chance to actually live the life I want to. And it's been 10 years now. In these 10 years, the first milestone was to create an organization of my own. That was Dead River Project. Through Dead River Project, the intention was not to earn money. It was to learn how and what can be done for the community and the world. And that happened. It shaped up till 2020. During the lockdown, I had to take a call that, finances were not that great. I had my own issues and challenges. My mother passed away. So I had to get back to some form of money, money flow. Financially, I was struggling. That's when a lot of organization happened, which shaped me where I am today. And all those experiences has cumulatively made me realize today as we talk that it is very important to have a community, and it's very important to keep on working for forever. In fact, there's no end to the work, there's no end to pushing your limits, because when we get exhausted by the challenges that we face, there comes a time when you are being questioned by not only the world but by your own consciousness that are you even doing the right thing. That's where the challenge happens, and that's where what we need to overcome, that when our mind starts questioning, that is the time and that is the indication that you are on the right path. Because mind and heart has to be aligned, and I learned it through the spiritual practices that I do. And I'm very fortunate that during all this course of my journey, spirituality has been the backbone of my existence. And we can talk at length on this, but yeah, so far this is where I am.
That's
And why we
we will definitely do a session on that as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And why we foundation? Because we had to close down Dead River because legally it was not viable because it had no bank account. Now in 2023, we realize that we need to organize a proper functioning organization and create a unit not only on water crisis or environment, but environment, education, empowerment, and animal rescue. So these are the areas that We Foundation works. We's full form is We stands for World of Environment, Education, Empowerment, and Animal Welfare. A is silent, but WEEE is what we are really inclined to. And we have board of directors, we have board of trustees, and now it has a bank account. It's a formal organization that we believe in, and there are two projects right now: Sustainable Yatra and Project Kitab that we are working right now. And I'm hopeful that all the verticals will be activated as we grow in due course of time. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Saurabh. That was again fascinating for me to again hear it out, even though I know it. So you have, one thing that was pretty much clear about your journey and whatever you said is community. So that was one thing which was coming again and again. So, GraminKonnect is also working towards community development. And one of the key projects that we are doing is whatever we do, in fact, whatever we do, the core is always involving community and getting them into the place of work where it is both rural and urban. And what I believe is that's a belief which is to my core, that a community development or a community gathering cannot happen without respecting the culture, heritage, food of that particular place or region that we are talking about. Because India is huge, and every parts of India has something or the other to offer. Unfortunately, these days we are much curious about what's happening outside India, but then people are more curious to go on a vacation to some other place other than India. But I think one life is not actually enough for you to kind of explore India. So, if we talk about that, then about community development, if we talk about, so how do you think? Because you also have been involved into tourism, right? And that is one of the ways that we can get our audiences or our people of the country introduced with different parts of India. Because other than that, there is no other way. People who are working in the social sector or maybe with the communities, they are aware and they know what are the challenges, the pros and cons of working with the communities, especially which are far off places in India. But then most of the people are not, and I'm not blaming them. It's just that they are not aware of it and they don't know. So tourism is one thing which I believe is a way to get those people or us introduced to such communities living in different parts of the country. So, how do you think that rural tourism has, sort of helped, and especially when you have worked in tourism as well? I think into rural tourism as well. So, just tell us, give a brief about what was your experience working into rural development sector, including your journey into tourism and community development both together. So, how was that experience? What do you think about that?
First of all, since I have grown in semi-urban space, so I know the problems and challenges.
Yeah.
But I was very fortunate that I got to explore different parts of India under rural tourism project that I had been, got an opportunity to work. So, rural India is the heart and soul of India, if you really ask me.
Yeah.
And be it Jharkhand, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Uttarakhand, be it Himachal Pradesh, or down south, if you take, say, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, then Bangalore and other parts. By Bangalore, not Bangalore, but yeah, outskirts.
Yeah.
Kurg, Coimbatore. So all these areas that I have traveled and I have extensively worked, what I have realized is that there is a huge potential that is being overlooked, or there are no strategic implementation of the rural tourism framework. If the framework is there, and if agencies like government as well as private agencies are working in tandem and communities are involved in a way, then I think there's a huge scope in India in next, say, 10-15 years down the line. Whatever we are seeing and reading and we are working towards, It's just the tip of the iceberg if you ask me. देखा जाए तो बहुत सारा स्कोप, and scope matlab, first we can address the brain drain. The villagers, the kids who are young, they are not doing the work they should take care of the farmland, they should take care of the villages, but what is happening is they are flocking to the urban spaces in search of money, and they
Lots
are
of
all,
migrations are happening. Yeah.
हाँ, उनको वो चमक नजर आता है, उनको जीन्स पहनना है, उनको
हाँ.
धोती और लुंगी नहीं पहनना. So this is a simple example that they want to eat something that they see in television and in internet, like they want to have burger, they want to go and visit a mall. So the commercialization of their brain is something that needs to be worked, and that's where government should really, and government is working, but it needs more of awareness and more of on ground thing. Plus, one more thing that I need to add here is, based on my experience, that these rural communities needs to be trained, needs a handholding, needs proper continuous training, and a kind of a cushion that they can also create revenue and create a rural circular economy that will not only help them but their kids, and they also can parallelly run farming activities or agricultural practices as well as homestays, for example. So homestays are not only homestays, it's like experience. So village life experience does not mean just homestays. It also includes culture. It also includes food. It also includes their art. It also includes their stories. It also includes their literature. It also includes their various art forms, various indigenous knowledge. So under village life experience, government has already been pushing, especially I have been fortunate that I have been working very closely with Madhya Pradesh Tourism, and the model that they have, and each state is replicating that, but in a very different form. I hope, and I sincerely hope that whatever they have started, that can be implemented and made in a very fruitful way, so that brain drain and villages can be saved, because today it's a very vulnerable situation, especially in rural India. People do not want to stay rural, they want to be urban. So that's my experience.
You're absolutely true, Saurabh. And I think one of the key issues that's happening along with this migration is that वहाँ के जो खाना है, food है, culture है, heritage है, that's also getting lost. Because वहाँ पे और कोई है नहीं जो इन चीजों को practice करे. जो next generation है या जो youth है, they are not interested. अभी if I talk about if you go and ask a person that आप मुझे कोई लोकगीत सुनाओ या वहाँ का जो डांस है, you hardly find someone doing that because they say अब तो शादी में भी डीजे होता है यहाँ पे, अब तो कोई वो सब होता ही नहीं है. So somehow you are missing out on all those things, and that is getting lost, which is very alarming because
not only that, but the entire village community is leaving their entire beings and moving to urban spaces. There are villages in and around Mukteshwar, if I remember properly, in Uttarakhand. There are villages that are abandoned. There are houses 100 years old, they are not being utilized. So it's a very scary situation. People and government and authorities should really act to save those spaces and bring back the old people or maybe younger generation.
Absolutely. And I know, like you mentioned Uttarakhand, that some of our projects are in Uttarakhand. So when we talk to them, there are villages which are actually called ghost villages because there are, everybody has left. It's just only the houses are there.
That's what I'm saying. Ghost villages are there.
Ghost villages. So that's very alarming. And also you look at the point that how this every day, those people living their own culture, own food, own way of life, they are coming to the city, which of course is not good because we are already, like you mentioned in the beginning, that we are already struggling here in cities with pollution, with population, with everything increasing. So how are we going to even adjust them? Because they are very used to a very different kind of life. They're not very we kind of people, like wherein they can adjust to a lot of things. So they are coming here, they're struggling. They're struggling, in fact, with a lot of times, lot of things, food, language, everything. If you see down south, so people coming from north to these places, they're mostly into their dialect or into Hindi. And when you are coming south, you need to learn the local language. So that's, of course, in a way that's good, but then it's a push thing, right? I mean, you're not learning it at your will. You're doing it for work. So so a lot of issues are there, which I think rightly you said that government should. And also, I think that not only government, we as citizens of the country also have some responsibilities that we need to come together. People who are working in this space should be supported by regular citizens who should come along, and travel should be taken in a very different way. Not just, we are going, we are enjoying time. Okay, that's one part of it. But then also experiencing the place through the community is needed. And if we can increase that through the local citizens, I think that's going to add. That's what I think. What do you think?
I work very closely with so many youngsters. So, and I am getting their perspective about rural India and what they have in their mind. It's like, city people going back to the roots. And when I talk to them, when they reach there in the rural spaces, the first interaction or the first impression is they're like, wow.
Yeah.
But when it settles down, they understand the slowness of that space, of that place, and how that slowness is important at times, coming from a very fast world.
Yeah.
Because urban spaces do not have time, but in rural spaces, you get a lot of time to meet yourself rather than, the external. Of course, there are areas, you see mountains, you see jungle, you see, different places, but you also get to meet yourself. So that meeting really changes the youth's mind when they go back to urban spaces again. So जिसको जो भी एक बार से ट्रैवल किया, एंड ट्रैवल आई थिंक इसका मायने बदल गया. ट्रैवल का मतलब अब हो गया है यूजिंग इंस्टाग्राम फॉर actually capturing the location and sending it and showing it to your friends and family and your but it's not that. It should not be that. It's a very wrong narrative that has been set by these influencers kind of a people. There are good influencers, there are bad influencers, but ultimately showcasing a place and telling the story of that place and asking people to go and be in that place, I think there has to be some kind of a framework. You go there, you invite people, but you also tell that do not disturb the sanctity of that place. Every village, every remote village in India has its own culture, own ethos, own, tradition. Whoever is traveling to those locations should respect it first, then get used to it, and then you enjoy. Nobody is saying that you should not. But having that sense of the city folks to go into some location and get aligned with that place, do not pollute, do not throw garbage, respect that location, respect the tradition, respect the elders wahan pe, and then come back with an experience rather than Instagram photos or reels.
Yes, very important.
That needs to be, reintroduced in some way, and people like you, me, and there are so many people who are doing amazing work, including the influencers that I'm talking about. I have nothing against them. But we should be sensible enough to promote a place or talk about a place with a rider that, when you come, please remember, कि आपको ये नहीं करना. आप ना पहाड़ देखो but मैगी मत खाओ. मैगी खाओगे तो proper dustbin में, because problem is all the places that we visit, we do not keep that in mind कि हमें यहाँ पर क्या करना है. We go with an agenda कि हमें यहाँ पर enjoy करना है, but enjoy at the cost of what? Pollution. When you leave your footprint, वहां पर it's only garbage. तो आपने अपने emotions को तो वहां पर त्याग ही दिया है, आपने अपने कूड़े को भी त्याग दिया. So what are we even doing it? So when I was working with a lot of young students of Aligarh Muslim University, we created a plan to go to Himachal Pradesh and clean up you won't believe, we collected around 10 kgs of wrappers of the waterfall, and it's a beautiful waterfall. I don't remember the name right now. And those two volunteers of AMU who are very close to me, they said कि sir यहाँ पर तो सिर्फ कूड़ा ही कूड़ा है, and that कूड़ा is only from the travelers. The local people also create garbage, but then the tourist adds more to it. So I have so much of apprehension of promoting any place because मुझे लगता है कि यार people go and just damage the beauty of that place.
Absolutely correct. I think this also applies for certain religious places of the country because these days we see a mass footfall happening in Char Dham. Say, for example, Char Dham, you take the kind of crowd they are visiting. But like you said, there is certain sanctity to the place which should be maintained. When you are going to a place, you should keep in mind where I am coming and for what purpose I am coming. So visit. There are lots of places in India to go visit, but take your time, spend your time in a very proper, in a very good manner, and try to respect that place also. There are certain decorums which you should abide by. I mean, this is so a
And
lot of, yeah.
no, please go ahead.
No, I'm saying that a lot of awareness, a lot of sessions, a lot of discussions, dialogues needs to be done even with the travelers when they are visiting, especially with the kids. You know, I find it so difficult when I see that a kid going with her or his parent, and the parent itself is throwing garbages on the road and just, at times just doing something which is rubbish on the road, you shouldn't be doing. So my thing is, what is even the child is learning? I mean, what is that you are doing? If you are doing something wrong, the child is also, he or she is not being able to learn. So that's,
No. I do not completely agree to it because based on my experience, again, I may be wrong in that.
yeah.
But the kids that I have interacted with, Sreowshi, you won't believe they are so smart. They are better than their parents. They are far more aware than we are, and
Yeah.
they are far more conscious about the environment that they are living in, and they want to protect. So I have been fortunate to meet so many kids of say class 5, class 9, class 10, 11. They want to do it. I just made a post today when I was having a session with kids in Dehradun.
Yeah.
That was my first. So had amazing solutions. And today Dehradun is stuck in garbage. It's
Correct.
piled up with pollution. And trust me, the solutions that they had, mind blowing. But the point is, ki, how can that be integrated into a system and who will be authenticating it?
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't have solutions, and these kids are smart enough and smarter than their parents, is what I want to tell. Yeah.
So, Saurabh, you have worked with Madhya Pradesh government. You just now you said on rural tourism models. So, if I have to talk about something into rural tourism, which is there any model which is successful? That's my first question. And if it is there, then I again understand that it must be in its process and it has not yet been proved. Because this whole awareness of sustainable tourism, rural tourism is a very new concept to India. But then, how do you think it is at its place? Like where it is now? Is it taking up? Is it going down? Where it is now?
So I would say, to my experience of work and getting exposed to Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board and their workings,
Yeah.
it is work in progress, and it's a very, very honest approach by the government. And for the first time, I saw the kind of linkages, administrative wise, they are linked to benefits for the benefits of the villagers for enhancing the village, because all the locations that has been identified are not prime locations. They're also deep down inside the jungle where the accessibility is bad. So the government on their part is really trying.
Okay.
And it is just not about the government. There are multiple agencies involved, and some private, some public. So it's a mixed model that they have, and some NGOs are working in close association with the MP Tourism Board.
Okay.
And the best part is its success is based, so far it is based on the actuals. For example, there are pockets in MP. For example, the area in Orcha, place called Ladpura Khas.
Okay.
So that place is a model village, and it has really been impacting in the right way and telling the story of how rural tourism can be replicated across not only Madhya Pradesh but across India. And and these success stories, one village after village, if it comes and if it happens, I think in due course of time, because see, changes come right people, right authority, right intent, and right planning.
Yes.
If everything falls into place, there is success. But it's a process. It cannot be one success or two success. It has to be continuously empowering the villages. So far, on my opinion, it's a work in progress. It's a successful model, and but more needs to be done. There are also areas or villages that needs attention that is not getting attention right now. Of course, homestays are being built, but more hand holding is needed. More workshops are needed to educate the villagers to run the operations, because creating a homestay is, as I said, just the tip of the iceberg. There's the entire VLE, that is village life experience, that needs to be curated, and for that, youth needs to be there on the village, on ground, because it's not the just the work of the village heads. It also is the work of the village kids who can be, part of that narrative, and they have to think that, coming back to your root is also beneficial in terms of revenue. That I think right now is in work in progress, and majorly because youth needs to be aligned. See, for example, to run a property, you need a property manager. To run social media in today's world, you need to talk about your story कि कहाँ से बनाया घर, कैसे यहाँ पर लोग आ रहे हैं, उन चीजों को आगे कैसे हम देख रहे हैं. You need to have a website. You need to be aligned with all these OTA platforms जहाँ से bookings आएंगी. Bookings कब? So there's a lot of back channel that needs to be viewed. तो अभी वो it's a very nascent age right now, in a very nascent phase. But I'm sure these people are well informed and they are well connected, and they're trying their best to create a success story out of it. And I hope, because I know so many people really working hard there, so I hope that one day it becomes a greater model. And right now, all the all the states, for example, you take it Uttar Pradesh, you take Chhattisgarh, you take Jharkhand, they are all taking up this model of Madhya Pradesh, because so far it is been really, really working good.
Yeah, that's so good to know, because it has to be a joint program coming from the government, citizen, people who are working towards the thing. And I must say that this video should also reach out to Madhya Pradesh government so that they could sponsor some of your work at WEEE Foundation, because you have been speaking so highly about them. So, yeah, but I think a lot of, as you said, that in Uttar Pradesh, in other parts of the country also, lots of the tourism departments are obviously taking some steps from the government side. And that's also our work to kind of join them and see how we can foster whatever initiatives they are taking. And we would also like to address this to the youth and to the generations to come, and also for the regular travelers and visitors who are coming, that please do join us and come to these places. We have lots of things to show you. So this actually brings us to our last section, Sourabh, for today. One thing is, we see that lots of, if we are taking people, if people are going there, so there is obviously an interaction that's happening with city people, I would say, and the rural people, the village communities mainly. So there we see that most of the time, you have your experience, I have my own experience, that people face, especially the communities in the rural parts of India, they face quite a lot of challenges and issues, right? There are certain things which they are not equipped with, and they are not in their proper mindset to deal with the people going from this part of the country. So what are those challenges you think? I mean, you have come across those challenges. What are they which you want to point out? And how we can, I think awareness programs are one of the things through which we can definitely make both the parties aware of what is what. Other than that, what do you think we can do?
So if you ask me what I have observed and what is the way forward, is like awareness to the travelers, that how you should travel to a village location, how you should deal with the community that you will be interacting while you are staying in that place, how open you should be to understand the culture, understand the food, see the slow life, and see how you can align your vibration with them. Because it is village tourism or rural tourism is just not about going to a place and coming back. It is an entire different ball game altogether, and I think the urban space travelers are not ready for it. They don't know. Rather than giving training to the villagers, of course they need to be handholded for the hospitality part of it, but I also feel strongly that the rural audiences are open to change and they're good at adapting to new changes. But the urban space people, especially the urban travelers, they need to be educated, they need to be hand-holded, they need to be trained to understand ki what are the challenges and how you can mitigate. For example, if you say washroom, washroom is a challenge. Though there are homestays which is using the modern facility to create, Western toilets and all those things, but you should be prepared to face the difficulties of using Indian toilet. Number one. Secondly, hygiene. You may not get a treatment of a 5-star in, or say 2-star, 3-star bhi nahi milega. You think you are expecting to get a proper bed with clean linen and everything. They will try. But understand that they are not trained as a hospitality elements. They are doing it out of love, out of service. So you also have to bring down your expectation to a level where you can, adjust. You cannot be high-headed and you cannot expect कि भैया पानी लाओ, भैया आप चावल दे दो, भैया आप ये चाय बना दो. No, it's not like that. आपको चाय बनानी है, आप बनाओ उनके साथ बैठ के. खाना बनानी है, बनाओ उनके साथ बैठ के. It's an experience, ना. You cannot go there ordering people, because we have to, the urban travelers have to have that common sense, that you are going to somebody's house. It's not homestay, it's not restaurant, it's not hotel. So the urban audience have that mindset ki homestay hai to it's like hotel. No. And that is the biggest challenge. Till the time we do not educate the urban travelers, we will not be able to get the success, because the experience is based on that. वो आप पूछो उनके ट्रैवल आने के बाद, ठीक तो था बट यार सही नहीं लगा, ट्रीटमेंट सही नहीं हुई. So they cannot get gelled with the host. The host is, and host also needs to understand who they are catering to. What kind of, because rural people are very clean-hearted people. You know it very well. They do not distinguish between their family and their travelers. But many of the urban youth or urban audience is like skeptical. भाई मुझे नहीं छूना, मैं नहीं करना, ये बर्तन तनी साफ नहीं है. So all this kind of attitudinal problem and behavioral patterns is creating a bad experience in both host's mind as well as the traveler's mind. So this needs to be worked. If this is worked, I think the progress of rural tourism will be skyrocket, and India is full of potential. We need to adopt to it, and we need to come down to a level where we can do a business, money and experience both. Like host gets the money. As a traveler, I get the experience, and that experience adds value to me. So then the entire cycle of village life experience gets covered. Or else it's just, you're going there, spending time, coming back, but you will tell कि नहीं मजा नहीं आया. हम अब होटल में जाएंगे, हम कहीं जाएंगे तो we'll book a 2-star hotel or 3-star hotel. But village life experience is a different ball game altogether, and I don't think the audience is educated right now enough to experience and wholeheartedly accept it. ये है problem.
हाँ, exactly. मतलब first of all, you have to be very open-minded, and you have to accept the fact that it is not a regular tour or itinerary that has been given to you, or you are going for that. So you have to keep one thing in mind, that this is completely an experience throughout that you are going to take, starting from your food, your stay, your trekkings, your whatever. So you have to keep that in mind. If you want a luxury stay, there are too many 5-stars and everything is there everywhere. Please go and have it. There is no problem. You have money, you can go, you can stay wherever you want and spend your days, your vacations. But when you are signing up something for this, you need to keep in mind that we are going to experience something which we regularly don't. So, like you said, that respecting the community people is very important, because they are, as much as इन लोगों के साथ यही होता है कि they are very open, and when you behave something negative, they can sense that negativity also very easily. And once they are, वो जब आपके साथ खराब होने लगते हैं, then it's very bad. So, because they're, what I believe is, वो innocence अभी भी कहीं ना कहीं है. Like when we work, we understand the kind of warmth they give, the kind of love and everything. Anyways, so sort of this also brings me to the discussion that where we are also planning, because we have already planned for Anubhav Yatra, and yes, it's very challenging to, as that put forward this to people, that
this is a very different kind of itinerary. This is something where you're going to experience something different, and it's going to be an experience. A lot of workshops are there, a lot of things which you are going to maybe once in your lifetime you are going to experience. And there is something also in a similar concept which you are planning for your sustainable yatras through WEEE Foundation. So what would you like to, maybe end this video or podcast with addressing people, and how would you like to tell them that please come and join us, because without your help and support, we are not being able to move it forward. And if we are not given that chance, maybe we are not being able to show the community to you also that how beautiful and wonderful they are. So your participation is very important. Yeah.
Of course, Anubhav Yatra itself, the name Anubhav is experience, and the way you guys have created the schedule, I have seen it, and I'm very happy that you have kept that element of experience, and actually that resonates with the entire concept. So, see, my support is always there, and if I am involved in any capacity that a sustainable part of the entire journey is what I'm really looking forward to. I would definitely love to meet people, love to meet whoever joins in, and I would request everybody to join in because it's genuinely been done from heart. So let us come together, and on our part, on my WEEE Foundation's part, what we can do is we can talk about things that we believe in how to do a sustainable journey, how to be a sustainable traveler, because the world that we are going to experience in more years down the line, it is more about how well you are connected to yourself, so that your behavior, being a traveler or being a human, will impact your environment. Even if you're traveling within the city, your consciousness will drive the narrative of how you should travel. So I think it's a golden opportunity for whoever is listening, and I invite everybody from my end that one should join Anubhav Yatra and understand the importance of this experience in our life. So all support, all power to you, Sreowshi and team.
Thank you.
And I am I'm looking forward to, because as I said, 27th December is what I am looking at. So I'll be very happy to meet people who comes and joins in this program, and we can have an amazing experience is what I'm looking at. So my fingers are crossed.
Actually. So even I'm looking forward to it. So that's my appeal to all the people whosoever is watching this video, and to all our contents and whatever is going through the social media, that please do join us, because this is going to be a good experience for every one of you. And like I said, it's going to be a one-time experience maybe. So on that note, thank you so much, Sourabh. It was really nice talking to you, and finally doing this in a video and capturing it and putting on to people and audience. And I'm sure more videos will come, because our discussions are endless. So we have lots of, like you said, spirituality is something which we need to catch up on. So yes. Once again, all the best for WEEE Foundation, and all the best for the work that you are doing, and wish you a great success there. And like we are partnered already, so we'll continue doing our part. Thank you so much, Sourabh. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jyoti, and thank you, GraminKonnect. I think it's a great start, and I wish all the best, and hopefully the support system that we have created and we have thought on, we have discussed upon, it keeps on growing and adding more people, and more people can get impacted in the right way. And I'm really thankful for our journey together, and hopeful that we learn from each other, we learn from these situations, and we learn from our own drawbacks and setbacks, because each milestone counts for me, and I'm very happy and fortunate that I'm getting an opportunity through you guys. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this. So yeah, all the best, and I look forward to many more conversations under this.
Of course. Thank you, Sourabh, so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for staying with us till the end of this podcast. At GraminKonnect Foundation, we are dedicated to working with rural communities across India to preserve and celebrate local culture, traditions, and cuisine. Through our podcast initiative, we aim to share the inspiring journeys of individuals and their contributions to this mission. But we can't do it alone. We need your support to keep moving forward. How can you help us? Like, subscribe and follow our channel and social media handles. Links will be in the description. Volunteer with us or support us financially by reaching out at contact@GraminKonnect.com. Your support means everything to us and is the key to sustaining and expanding our efforts. Together, let's make a difference. Namaste. Thank you so much.